everybody, this is Tracy here for another edition of A View from Tracy's Point, and we are here to recap Real Housewives of Atlanta Season 10, Episode 7, which was titled Rock the Boat. So last night's episode of Real Housewives of Atlanta, Cynthia admits that she still has strong romantic feelings for Peter. It also doesn't help that Kandi feels Cynthia's new potential boo may be an opportunist, and Portia's blind date is a flop. So Sheree calls her prison bae Tyrone her soulmate. So I guess this is going to be the episode of relationship. So we get a silly little excursion with Sheree and Portia because Sheree's finally ready to install some doors at Chateau Sheree, and so Portia tells her that she needs some fabulous knobs for the door or something like. I don't know what Portia was talking about. So Portia and Sheree end up discussing prison bae. That's what they call him, Tyrone, on social media. And Sheree says that she is open to marrying again once he is released from prison. All right now, Sheree. So Sheree tells Portia that when Tyrone gets out of jail, that she'd be ready to marry him. That gets Portia to thinking, if Cynthia has a man and Sheree has a prison boyfriend, then why can't she get somebody too? So enters these two homely looking white women who are going to be Portia's matchmakers. And so I'm thinking, like, what happened to Patty Stringer from Millionaire Matchmaker? Is she through with Real Housewives of Atlanta after she hooked y'all remember when Patty hooked Kenya up with the guy, and then the guy turned around and got married on Kenya? See, Bravo covered that up. They ain't let y'all know that man, I can't remember that man's name. He was a good looking brother. He was the guy before Matt. And he ended up marrying this white woman. Come to find out, he had been in a relationship and all kind of stuff. But they kind of they tried to scrub that from the internet so y'all didn't find out about that. So maybe that's why Patty's no longer around. Because I don't even think her show comes on anymore. But anyway, Portia says that being a vegan has made her hornier than ever. And I guess fooling around with them cucumbers and squashes and all that got her looking at vegetables a different way. So she thinks she needs to get a real man in her real life before she started getting freaky with these vegetables. So Portia admits that dating has been an epic fail in her life since her divorce from Cordell. And she says that her last boyfriend, who I think is... remember the little boy worked for the lobbyist or something in Washington, D.C. And I think, what's his name? Oh, Todd. His name was Todd also. So she says that he ended up being a better friend than a boyfriend. So she also tells them that she wants a man who wants a family, and she's open when it comes to race. So she don't care, just wants a good man. So Portia takes the ladies on a tour of her house, and when they saw the nursery themed rooms and the playset in the backyard, they told her that she's going to scare off any man that happens to stop by. So I don't know why Portia kept that house with them. Because remember, one was decorated for a little boy and one was decorated for a little girl. And I'm thinking, Portia, even if you want kids, I would think that if you do get pregnant or get married or whatever, that you would want to do your own decorating and your own theme. So go take that wallpaper down and paint them rooms and use them for whatever you're using them for, storage as it is. So go ahead and make them into some real closets or storage rooms or whatever you're doing. And then that little girl room, you could have gave that little girl room to Lauren's daughter Bailey. Like, why she not up in that room? You being messy, Portia. So they toast to Portia meeting a white man, and we already know that it's going to be another L for Portia in the relationship department. So it's time for Portia's date, and this fool walks in, sees the dude, and turns right around. I was like, Portia, you were so wrong for that. But then she finally, get it together and go over to meet the guy. And the introduction was so awkward with that hug. Now, I'm a hugger. But that, I don't know, maybe because the guy was kind of creepy looking that it made the hug a little creepy, or maybe it was creepy because we know that Portia wasn't feeling the guy. But anyway, the date got even worse. And Portia had already made up her lie that she could only be out for like 30 minutes because she was taking care of her mom. I was like, okay, Portia, that was a good one. I'm about to write that one down. So they get to talking and everything. And then this fool, he just kept saying and doing things like he was like all beautiful women have something off about them. Like, really? And then he said, oh, let's do a sake bomb. And I was like, I didn't even know what a sake bomb was, but they got some sake and then they hit the table. And I don't know what the hell was going on. But anyway, I think when you're on a date with a guy and he's trying to get you drunk, that right there is a major red flag. And Portia, I don't blame you for not liking this guy. So after the whole sake bomb thing, he says that he hopes that the alcohol will loosen Portia up a little bit. So Portia tells him that oh, she said her phone started ringing or vibrating or something, and she was like, oh, that's my mom. I gotta go, gotta get back to him. So I was just like, but what do you do, like, if you're on a blind date with somebody? You go on a blind date and you walk in and you don't like the person. Like, I probably would leave. Like, people, what do? They say, oh, tell me, like what color shirt you're going to be wearing or whatever. Like, I walk in, I won't give you the wrong thing and say, I changed my mind about what I was going to wear. Because when I walk in there, because I'm probably going to be late, because I be late everywhere. And I see you, the green shirt man over there, and he ain't looking right. I'm turning around leaving, and that's just gonna be the end of it. And then if he is looking right, then I'll just go on over there. And he said, well, why you got on the red dress? I'll be like, oh, some waist on it, and I changed my mind and put something else on. So I just hope that Portia fire those ladies that hired her and go get her a real matchmaker. Like, ain't there some black matchmakers in Atlanta that can hook Portia up with somebody? I'll help Portia out. So fresh off the trip to San Francisco, Kandi goes by Cynthia's house to visit, and Cynthia shows off, like, for these ladies to be friends. I can't believe that has Kandi not been to the house, or she ain't been to the house since the house been decorated? Because I thought that was kind of odd. But as Kandi looks around, Kenya also comes over. So they start talking about, what happened after Kenya left San Francisco. And Cynthia finally admits to Kenya that she's upset that she wasn't invited to the wedding. So then Kandi says that she understands because Kenya and Cynthia are supposed to be best friends. So why hasn't she met your man? And hell, it was other people at the wedding. Why wasn't Cynthia invited? And she could have told Cynthia, come to the wedding, but don't tell anybody. And I don't know how long Cynthia would have kept it a secret, because she did blurt out that Kandi had done that photo shoot at Essence before Kandi had the photo shoot at Essence before Kandi had an opportunity to tell anybody. So maybe Kenya did the right thing. So Kenya claims that she doesn't hang out with Mark in Atlanta because she still has a restraining order against Matt. Now, last time I checked, a restraining order had nothing to do with you carrying on with your life, Kenya. And if anything, if you can hang out in Atlanta by yourself, if Matt want to kill you, he will kill you, whether you with Mark or not with Mark. So that's kind of like really stupid. And then if Mark is this businessman, this rich millionaire businessman that you claim he is, y'all probably wouldn't be hanging out at the same places that Matt would be hanging out anyway. And if Matt is stalking you, he gonna stalk you in Atlanta, he gonna stalk you in New York. Because remember, he showed up at Bar One in Charlotte at Peter's opening. He just rolled up on you there. So you can't just be like not living your life for fear that Matt is going to do something. That's stupid. So Kenya assures Cynthia that she will eventually meet Mark. So the ladies then turn their discussion to Sheree's prison babe, and the fact that Nene said he scammed people out of millions of dollars. And apparently Sheree was posing during a visit. She had on this t-shirt that said wifey. Oh my Lord, my Lord. But anyway, Kandi says that she's keeping her eye on Prison Bay, given his reputation. So when he get out, she gonna be careful before she allows him into her circle. So later, Cynthia stops by a construction site where Peter is going to be working on another bar and restaurant in Atlanta. And I couldn't remember if it was the same, because remember right before they got a divorce, they were looking at buying this property, that they were going to open up another restaurant when the first restaurant closed down. Whatever the situation is, Peter says that his place in Charlotte, is doing good. And, I don't know if he was trying to get Cynthia to be an investor or what, but I just need Cynthia to leave Peter alone, cut all ties with him. Don't be investing in his businesses or whatever. You just need to move on, girl. And just, if y'all not getting back together, just because, see, being friends with Peter ain't working for you, Cynthia. Like, I have been friends with guys that I have dated, but there was no emotional, like that love attachment wasn't going on. You got to stay away from Peter until all of that is over and done with. So, like I said, Cynthia checks out the building and notices most of it is still unfinished, but Peter says that he's going to be open in 4 months. So we'll see. So they have some small talk, and Cynthia tells him, that she's dating a guy that she likes named Will. And Peter was like, well, tell Will I say hello. Or tell William I said hello. I was like, y'all so childish. In their confessionals, both Cynthia and Peter admit to still having feelings with each other, which is why I said they need to put some distance between them for a while. So then we move over to Kandi, and I don't know if I mentioned this season, but Lil Ace is so doggone cute. He is so cute. So Kandi and Todd, they did make a cute little baby. So Todd's oldest daughter, what's that girl name? Is it Kayla? Whatever Todd's daughter's name is, she was there and they were doing like some swimming lessons. And I think it is a good thing to have swimming lessons and teach Ace how to swim, since y'all got swimming pools at the house. And so Kandi says that she's feeling guilty about spending time away from her family, but she's glad that Todd can be there for the kids. Like, Kandi, how many times are you going to say it? We get it. You're a busy mom. You feel guilty about being busy. So Kandi tries to make some time for Riley, and Riley, you just keep shooting her down and says that she wasn't going to make plans to spend time with Kandi because Kandi was just going to cancel at the last minute. And I was like, well, dang, Riley, speak your truth, girl. And so they do get a chance to go to this, the indoor skydiving thing, but Kandi needs to realize that Riley is in her teens and that these years go by really fast, and they are the most important years. And so you can't put money before your kids, because although they enjoy the luxuries you provide, they will only remember when they get older that you were not there for them when they were, going through those teenage years where they were learning about boys, and it was prom time and homecoming and worrying about getting into college and all that stuff, and having issues with their friends and bullying and stuff. So Kandi, you done made enough money by now that you can like lean back for a little while, at least until Riley gets out of high school, and then you can pick back up with all this stuff. And things ain't even working out between escapes, so you need to just drop that and let that go on by the wayside. And then what else are you doing? Todd needs to be running that restaurant. Let Todd run the restaurant. You stick to writing songs or whatever it does that you make your money off of, selling your sex toys, and spend some time with your kids so you can stop feeling guilty. Oh, and then why do people on social media clowning Todd for not having a job? Talking about, well, exactly what does Todd do? Well, sure, he can take care of the kids because he ain't got no job. Or Todd done went from a production assistant or production manager or whatever he did with the production company to opening the OLG restaurant, and Kandi won't even let him run that by himself, to now he is daddy, what do they call him? Daddy daycare. He taking care of Ace. So y'all leave Todd alone. So Sheree comes home and her daughter is there saying goodbye to all her white friends before going off to college, and people were talking about that as well. And my thought is, my daughter, all of her friends, as you may have noticed in the video I did about the wedding, like she has all her friends, almost, I would say 99% of her friends are white as well. But I think it depends on, I think Sheree said that they always grew up in white communities. And for my daughter was always in magnet programs, and then she was in IB, and then she went to college at a school that was, pretty diverse, when it came, she went to school down in Miami. And so I think you just tend to gravitate to people that you have things in common with, and more importantly, people that accept you, because we have a big issue here. I don't know if it's still prevalent now because I'm having kids in school, but I know back when my oldest daughter was in school, like, they didn't have a lot of black kids that were accepted into the magnet program and into the baccalaureate programs and stuff. And so, and then they keep those kids separate from the general population. So she was mainly with mostly white kids at school. And so then the black kids would be mean to her, call her names and kind of stuff. So people gravitate to those who accept them. And like I say, I don't know if it's still, that was 15 years ago. Yeah, 15 years ago. I don't know if that's still the situation now with kids in the school, but that's kind of how she ended up, and like her friends now have been her friends. Like they all came up together in school and high school and stuff. And so it is what it is. And Sheree's daughter is going to Howard University so she can get the black experience. Now I did have an issue with that because regardless of who you friends with, you still, if you black, you still should know the black experience. And your mama on the show with a bunch of black women cutting up, acting the fool, so you should be very versed in the black experience. But anyway, it is what it is. Y'all leave Sheree's daughter alone. So Sheree decides that now is the time to talk to her kids about the domestic abuse, as she knows that her kids have read about it online. So she just wants to know what they think. And so her daughters are shocked. And then the youngest girl, Kaylee, I think her name is, says that Bob tried to talk to her about it at one point, but she just drove away. So I'm just trying to picture your daddy at the car leaning down in the window trying to have a conversation with you, and then you just put the car and drive off. Like, did she not want to hear about it? Was she angry? What was going on in that moment when Bob was trying to talk to her? So Cairo says that he didn't know because Sheree never talked about it. So Sheree must be one of them secretive moms that hold everything in. So Sheree says that she never told them because she wanted to protect Bob's reputation. But Bob never protected her. And so she wants to talk to the kids so they don't repeat the same mistakes. But them kids didn't really seem too concerned. They was like, we done known about this all along, mama. Let's go ahead and roll this scene so we can move on to bigger and better things. So then we get to Cynthia. So Cynthia's going on a double date with Kandi and Todd so they can be her boyfriend, Will. She's not going to treat him like Kenya did her with Mark. And so Will, he tried to step it up. He sent a car, for Cynthia and everything so they can go out on his friend's boat. What y'all think about Will? Y'all think Will for real? Is he like serious or is he playing Cynthia? So on their way there, Kandi tells Todd that Cynthia needs to be careful dating because she's well known and some men may be trying to use her. So Todd is still close to Peter, so he's not sure, how he should feel about Will. And he and Kandi admit that they feel uncomfortable because they are so cool with Peter. But Cynthia says that they need to get over it and move on and learn how to separate their friendships and give her new man a chance. So it turns out that Kandi has done some digging and found out that Will has appeared. What she say that he appeared in disguise on a dating episode of the Steve Harvey show, and I guess it was the Steve Harvey talk show, and that he was approached about doing another dating show, a pilot for a dating show that was supposed to be coming out. But Will says that, he was on the Steve Harvey thing, but he was approached about the pilot, but he turned it down. It wasn't something that he was interested in. Kandi and Todd, they interrogating Will, and Todd keeps bringing up Peter. Cynthia was like, okay, let it go. So Cynthia and Kandi, they end up moving up like on the bow. Is it the bow of the boat? So they sitting out there, the wind rocking the boat and everything. I'm like, y'all better hold up or y'all slide off into that water. And so they're having girl talk, and Kandi reassures her that since they both grew up in the public eye, that they have to be careful, who they bring around them. And so, Cynthia, she is looking out for Cynthia's best interest. And so Cynthia feels like Kandi is just doing the most right now. While Will and Todd, they were inside talking, Will let Todd know that he's not an opportunist and that he's not afraid to answer any questions that Todd or Kandi have for him. So back outside with Cynthia and Kandi, Cynthia, she ain't worried about what they think about Will. She more concerned with what's going to happen if her and Will have sex and the sex ain't good. So, you better go over there and ask Portia about them doggone cucumbers and squash, Cynthia, is what you need to keep your legs closed. So Cynthia reveals that she just because Will isn't getting any doesn't mean that she hasn't been having sex. So I was like, who you been having sex with, Cynthia, other than Peter? Because I really think that Cynthia and Peter still banging. I do believe that. So Cynthia says that I'm 50 Cent now. And I want a fat Joe or a big pun, referring to the man penis size. I'm like, Cynthia, you got a young daughter watching you on this TV show. Can you please stop with the nonsense? So Cynthia and Kandi, they end up returning to the cabin with the guys, and then I think Will asked what did they talk about. This Cynthia sat there and repeated the conversation, and Kandi was like, you weren't supposed to repeat that. And Cynthia was like, oh. Girl, can we trust you to be out there having sex with anybody? So finally, Sheree, I think the last scene was Sheree, and she was meeting with Jack Daniels again. And so Jack Daniels had just got there when Sheree, and they were talking, and Sheree's phone rung. So Sheree was like, oh, excuse me, I gotta take this. So she goes outside and thinks about you got a call from a federal prison. So she out there on the patio just acting like a little schoolgirl, all in love, and just having a full-blown conversation with Prison Bae, like Jack Daniels went in their house waiting on her. So Prison Bae says that God is good for giving him a second chance with Sheree. And he stopped talking, he stopped talking to her years ago because the feds were closing in, but couldn't stop thinking about Sheree. And so Sheree, I don't know, girl. Okay, so now Sheree, you had all that trouble telling your kids that there was some potential domestic violence in the relationship with Bob. Have you told your kids that you in a relationship with a man that's serving time in prison for embezzlement? Like, what must Sheree's kids be thinking about her at this point? And then I was thinking, like, she was out there on that dang on phone for so long. Like, is she not paying this man by the hour? Like, do she just pay for the session and no matter how long the session is? Because I'm thinking like most people would have gotten up and left. Like, is Jack Daniels really a trained counselor? Like, does he have education? Do anybody have the scoop on Jack Daniels as to whether or not he is a legitimate psychologist or counselor or whatever it is that he's supposed to be? So when Sheree comes back in from the patio, Jack Daniels was like, well, who was that? Like, he was her man. So Sheree says, oh, my boyfriend. So when she reveals that the man was in prison, Jack Daniels, the look on his face was like, B-I-T-C-H, is you crazy? If he could have cut Sheree out in that moment, he would have, but he remains professional and asks her, if she's in love and does she think this is really gonna last. And so, Jack Daniels tells her that women will have a lot to say, that the women in her circle will have a lot to say about it. But Sheree says that they will want a Prison Bae just like her once they see how great things are with her and Tyrone. And I'm like, girl, don't nobody want no man like the real woman with common sense don't want no man in prison. So she says that Tyrone fulfills her more than any man has ever fulfilled her. And she was like, I know what we share. He's my soulmate. It's like, Sheree, why is Bravo got you on TV looking a fool? They got you and Kenya looking like fools right now. Jack Daniels asked her, you know, if she will still wait for him to get out of prison if it turns out that he's not getting out in a year, but it happens to be 4 or 5 years down the road. But Sheree doesn't really answer, and then, you know, it's like whether her bae is coming home soon or in 4 years, Sheree is ready to take a chance on love, and this is her soulmate. This is her man, and she's there for the long haul. So, does anybody know if Jack Daniels is married? Because truth be told, him and Sheree will make a cute couple, and they seem to have some chemistry going on. So maybe that'll be the storyline down the road that Jack Daniels come on out and tell Sheree that he want her to be his boo. Guys, that's it for me. Leave your comments below and let me know what you thought about this episode. Rate the video, subscribe to the channel, share it on your social media platforms, and until the next time, I shall talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.